Douglas Edward Withers, my father, was a wonderful father. He worked very hard for a living. He was a footballer in Goldman. He played extremely well. He also did a lot of, shall we say, community processing and management. More importantly, what he did was that he became my father when I returned back to Australia. What does that mean? Basically, he loved me unconditionally from the time he met me. And basically, what he also did is taught me how to live. And he lived by ways of showing me what to do, not telling me what to do. When your father is from the 50s, growing up, a lot of things were never mentioned or discussed. But what he did do was actually he learned by watching people, particularly his own father. And as a part of a large family, having 7 brothers and 1 sister, you can imagine that there is quite hectic times in a very blue-collared family environment. So when it came his turn to become a father, he took me on as a son, and he reminded me unconditionally how much he loved me and unconditionally that I was his son, which was something that I took for granted when I was young because he was my dad. But at the end of the day, it was so important when I realised a lot of things in my life that I never knew about came to fruition through my mother's discussions with me. And basically what happened is that he became more than a father to me. He became the greatest father to me. And this is where the embryonic version of 4Ever Story really started, was that all the lessons and all the things that he taught me throughout life, looking after animals, caring for people, doing the right thing. Sometimes the right thing doesn't seem the right thing at the time, but later on it does mean a lot to do that right thing. So when I speak to my father and when I spoke and spent time with him, and I was fortunate to not only have a father-son relationship, I was fortunate to have a friend, a very good friend that was there for me during all those years of when you're changed through life and everything else. And he sacrificed so much for myself, for my mother, for my brother, and people around him. In fact, a lot of stories that I heard about him was actually in his later years, in his later time in life, where people would just come along and tell you wonderful stories, how he looked after their children and how he cared for people that I never knew about. So to me, he was just more than a father. He was one of my best friends.